So during that movie, my husband needed to put it on pause, and he went out the room, completely oblivious to the scene that he paused it on. And the scene was actually just the blackboard, and written on it said, "Think of something to change the world and put it into action." I was left with that for 5 minutes, just staring at me, until he came back in the room and put it on play and carried on watching the film. So this boy, he does change the world. He changes the world by a very simple idea of paying it forward, where instead of somebody paying a favour back to him, they had to pay it on to 3 other people, and so on and so on and so on. He actually felt that he hadn't changed the world because where he was at, he sometimes saw it wasn't working. But actually, a journalist in the film followed it from the mass ripples back to him and was filming him saying, "This is amazing what you've done." And from there, he went to, I'm going to have to tell you the end, I'm afraid, sorry, but it's not going to make sense if I don't. He actually went to save his friend who was being bullied, and he got killed for that. I went very quiet, and my husband said to me, "Tiffany, why do you think the writer had to kill off the boy?" But my thoughts were already there. I felt as if we all have life purposes, and if you die young, then you have to make sure that what you come here to do is done in a very, very, very short amount of time, which gives it a massive, massive impact. So maybe it wouldn't have had that amount of impact if she hadn't have done that. Maybe it wouldn't have had the impact for me, for instance, as well. And so then I started thinking, well, what if I haven't got the whole reason of Lauren's purpose? And that was my thought before I went to bed that day. The next day, I had another client to regress. And this time they were a German bomber in World War I. And I thought, right, okay, what is going on here? Because out of all the out of all of the regressions I've done, I've never had anybody from World War I and World War II, and here they were in a couple of days. So I started to think that this World War had something to do with it. So I also felt as if the number 11 was very significant. And I was speaking to my husband about this, and he said, "Well, Tiffany, I think World War II finished at 11/11. So I researched this on the net, and actually it was World War I that finished on the 11th of the 11th at 11. So I started thinking, there's something trying to add up here, quite literally. And then I thought, if we take the number 1, World War I, you see, is written as World War I. Even when it's shortened, it's WW1. If we take that, then 1 means commencement, 1 means self, 1 means action. And then we look at World War II. It's not actually known, or should I say, written with a 2. Can you see this? World War I ended at 11 on the 11th of the 11th. World War II is represented as an 11. So it's not written as World War II, it's written as World War II. And I thought, wow, because that took me on to the thoughts about the tarot. And the 11th card in the tarot is Justice. Can you see this? I hope you can. So here we have Justice. And I thought, okay, so is it that World War One was like a commencement of justice, but it went wrong? And that World War Two was trying to balance out that injustice, but actually it went even more wrong. A bit like, in a sense, Lauren's chromosomes, how one actually came into two, and how that trisomy, that triple chromosome, nearly cancelled out, nearly made things right, but it couldn't remove the pain from the past. I started to feel like there's something going on here. And then the number 3 came into it. I was thinking triple one, trisomy, number 3. 3's about birth. And it certainly feels like the Earth is trying to go through a new birth at the moment. So the next day, the Japanese tsunami hits. Yep, you got it. 11, 3, 11. So, the world going through a new birth, trying to balance out. As we know, birth is painful. Giving birth is painful. You know, sometimes life-threatening. And I'm thinking, do we need to help Mother Earth through this birth? Is this what it's about? I don't think it's any coincidence that Pallas, I think is an asteroid, might be a planet, but I'm pretty sure is an asteroid, moved into Aquarius around that time, that same week as the tsunami hit. Now, Pallas is linked to Apollo Athena, and it's spelt with a double L, like 11, as is Apollo, Pallas and Apollo. And Apollo Athena is the warrior goddess, and she moved into Aquarius at the time of the tsunami. And Aquarius is all about new visions, new births, you know, and the group consciousness, collectiveness, moving forward for the highest good of all and soul evolution. And guess what? It's in there for 11 months. Okay, so more 11s going on here. So I then find out that this place behind me, St. Michael's Mount, just here, doesn't only connect with the Michael ley line that runs through southern England, but that is part of the rainbow serpent that runs right the way around the world, an energy line that runs around the world down to Allura or Ayers Rock or Uluru, and back up around again to St. Michael's Mount. So not only do I find that out, but I find out that it also, St. Michael's Mount connects with the Michael ley line and Apollo Athena ley line. So all of these pieces are starting to formulate, and it takes me back to this lady's channeling